So guys, I'm making one of my favorite meals, which I call, excuse me, bacon noodle cabbage. And so, what I've got here for boiling the noodles, I can't get the noodles that I normally use for bacon noodle cabbage here. So this will have to suffice. I use like shells type of thing and macaroni. I do have some twirly ones up here. Alright, I use the, I'm trying to remember, it's pasta nuggets that work the best for this meal. But anyways, the curly ones, the bigger ones, rotoni or whatever they call it, I think, works good, but you can't get that either, so just have these small little spirals and they're not all that good. So this bag is open already at the shell, so I'll just use those. That's all. And in here it's, water, and then I've got like four chicken cubes in here for some seasoning when I make cook the noodles. And I have my notorious homemade bacon. Oh yeah, gotta have that. No doubt. And so what we do is just, where'd all the knives go? Here they are. So I just take and cut the bacon into like quarters. Maybe thirds here. And fry it up. I'm gonna, since it's New Year's Day and I love this dish, I'm gonna put in lots of bacon because that makes it very, very good. Yeah. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So thankfully I've got more bacon, pork bellies curing, to make into bacon going on. I think I'll use like half this pack and then put the leftover in the refrigerator. Ooh. Got to close that. Get the beer case out of the way to open the fridge. There we go. And we'll cut this in thirds again. Oh yeah. Some good looking bacon, isn't it, guys? Very meaty. So, some of it's kind of fatty, but a lot of it's meaty. So there we are with that, and we'll fry this up until it's pretty crispy. Just slowly fry it, and I boil the noodles. So I'll come back after this stuff is kind of done and show you more of the process. I wish I would have brought down some of the black pepper from up in the shop, but I didn't. Oh well, I'll have to use the fine ground pepper. It's better with coarse ground pepper, but it always, there's a lot of pepper in this meal. Ooh, I gotta turn this down. Getting kind of hot. There we go. Slowly fry the bacon. Things that are slow cooked are always better tasting than if you do it in a hurry. So here Alright guys, I'll be back in the future. So, okay guys, we're at the point here where you cook the noodles, whatever kind of noodles you're using, to el dente, as they call it. You know, not mushy, but you know, so they're firm still. And it's reaching that point. And let's try one here. Like I say, I'm using shells, so. A little crunchy. It's probably got another couple of minutes to go. And the bacon is, you know, frying up. You want this, you know, kind of crunchy, because when you mix it with the you know, the cabbage and the noodles, it softens up at that point in time. I'll show you here. So it's just like frying away on this, because I need the bacon grease for frying the cabbage in. Because this is like a fried cabbage kind of a meal. And so the noodles will be done before the bacon is. And what you do when you know, you take the noodles out and you put them in the strainer, before you put them through the strainer, you reserve like a cup of the liquid that you cook the noodles in, which is basically like chicken broth at this point in time, with all the cubes that I put in there. You reserve a cup of that, and then, you know, strain the noodles and rinse them a little bit, and then I'll show you where I go from there. Okay guys, the noodles are done, so now to remove it. Remember I told you, you take and pour off. You know, one of the things that's very irritating here, I've bought like literally hundreds of hot pads, right? Or not hundreds, but around 100 hot pads. And what can I find? I can only find 2 of them here. That and scissors. That shit pisses me off. They constantly disappear. I don't know where the hell they go. But anyways, I managed to find 2 of them. And so we'll pour off like a cup of this juice, because we'll need it later. It gives it a nice salt flavor. I mean, you can always add more salt if you want it. Right? So, why does this make me want to pee? There we go. And so, the rest into the strainer, as it were. And kind of rinse the pan out and run it through the noodles. Scrape out whatever noodles are going in there. Try and get some of the starch out of the pan. You don't have to rinse them really, really good, the noodles. No, just a little bit. think we're good. So, as we let and this is what we're gonna. Okay, guys, we're back. The next process of making bacon noodle cabbage. While I didn't videotape, I cut up the cabbage, and as you can see, you do it into pretty large chunks. You don't have to make it small or anything. Preferably bigger chunks like that. So did that. This is 2 heads of cabbage, but these are smaller heads over here in the Philippines. One head, you know, nice size head in America would work fine. And I fried the bacon to this kind of consistency. It's kind of crunchy, but it still has some chewy parts, you know, kind of thing. That's how you want to fry it, kind of a thing. And now, and obviously I, you know, got the noodles all strained out, and I have that reserve of juice that I boiled the noodles in, all right, which is basically like chicken broth. So now what we do, this kitchen's kind of small for this meal. Now what we do is take the big pan, put it up on high heat. You definitely want high heat. And pour bacon grease into here. You know, I'm making a relatively large batch, so I want a fair amount of grease, type thing. Yeah, nice thing about it with whatever's left over is the dogs will love it. So, where to put everything here? And so we let that heat up and get hot. Maybe turn that down a little bit. You know, kind of a thing. And I guess I don't need the flame, you know, running alongside the pan. And let's throw a little piece of cabbage in here and see if it starts sizzling. A little bit more. Jump out of the way. You dogs always get in the way. Yeah, they do. So you want it to be hot because we're frying the cabbage. So yeah, I think we might be hot enough. Alright, that's what you want here. You know, put the cabbage all in. As you can see, it's a lot of cabbage. Cabbage is the best part of the meal. And start stirring it around so the bacon grease kind of, you know, coats the cabbage a little bit. Oops. And get a jumper. No, don't jump, don't jump. You almost need a hot pad for this kind of thing, guys. You know, like I say, you're trying to do it on high heat because you're attempting to fry the cabbage. It goes through a stage where it kind of gets juicy because of the fact that it's slowly, you know, getting the water out of the cabbage. So there's not much you can do about that, I guess, unless you want to fry the cabbage in smaller batches. But yeah, no, this is the way I've always done it. So Just stir it. Let's see, do I have enough pepper here? Let's see. Well, I've got more than, oh yeah. There's plenty in that one. So, put it along. Stir it all the time and slowly it, you know, not wilts, but what do they call that word? You know, softens up. I don't I don't like cabbage that's overcooked. I don't like mushy cabbage, so that's not how I cook it. I get it to the point where it's, you know, el dente, I guess you'd call it. I don't think they use that term on cabbage, do they? I have no idea. Yeah, stir it. It'll go back to attempting to fry after it, you know, boils off some of that water. And let's get a little more grease in there. Empty the pan out. Obviously, because I'm here cooking, the camera keeps shutting off. I don't know why it's doing that. I have no idea. So, what's this stupid thing doing? I hope it's recording. If not, I guess you won't see how to make bacon noodle cabbage. My phone's been messing up. So it's slowly getting softer. It still has moisture on the bottom. You have to wait until that disappears. You know, stirring kind of constantly. Well, you don't have to do it constantly, you know what I mean. It's the sound of silence. So, I don't know. Do you guys like cabbage and bacon? You know, and like I say, you use a fair amount of pepper in this meal. Coarse grind pepper is the best, but I forgot it up in the shop, and I don't feel like going all the way up there and falling off the path again. You know, to even if I had a flashlight. No, I'm just kidding. I just didn't feel like going all the way up there. I can just use the fine pepper. It'll work. But the coarse ground pepper is better. As it slowly, I don't know, wilts, I guess you'd call it, but I don't like the term wilt, because that doesn't sound very tasty. I don't think. What do you think? As you can see, it's rendering down. You know how cabbage is when you cook it, right? It starts out kind of large and then it reduces and reduces. So, you know, cheers, guys! Happy New Year, because it's New Year's here, and I think it's New Year's in the U.S. now too. Yeah, yeah, it definitely is, because it's pretty late here. And what is it, like 8 o'clock at night? Something like that. And so, the nice thing about this meal is it lasts for like 2 or 3 days. If Rose isn't here, if Rose is here, it doesn't last that long, because she loves it too. go. It's going to get to the point where the moisture kind of disappears and it starts frying. You can see all the steam coming, well, maybe you can't. You can see the steam coming up, right, where it's drying it out. Elsa hasn't been feeling good. She's got some kind of an infection. And so I'll give her some amoxicillin tomorrow. I was asking Rose where it was at. She said it's down in the pig pen in the feed room. So I'll give her some food and mix in the amoxicillin for her to eat. Oh yeah. Starting to get to the point where it's, you know, drying out, and it's going to start frying instead of like boiling. Not really boiling, but it's kind of like steaming it, you know, from its own juices. So. The cabbage over here, I mean, once in a while you can get the good cabbage here, but it's not in season right now. The heads here they're kind of flat and they're not very firm, type of thing. They're okay, but you know, the nice hard crisp. So anyways, the video quit, guys. Apparently my internal storage is full, so I switched over to the SD card. I don't know. We'll see what kind of a video I can actually make from this. Ooh, yeah. It's starting to fry now. I think it's about ready to add the bacon back in. Here we go. You don't want to put the bacon in when you're trying to fry the cabbage, because otherwise it gets like completely burnt. And we stir it around. Do its thing. Warm up. I don't know. I'll have to lift this up. Show you what it looks like. Oh yeah. See the cabbage and the bacon. So back it goes. So at this point in time, you can add some of the black pepper. And this is kind of like what makes the meal. There we go. And we'll stir that in. Let it cook. And then we'll add more pepper after I add the noodles, which is going to be soon. All right. And so the crispy part of the bacon is already starting to soften, you know, from the moisture from the cabbage. Oh yeah. So it's about time to add the noodles after I have another sip of beer. And this beer's almost gone. Maybe 2 sips of the beer. There, it's gone now. So, time to add the noodles. Stir it. Stir it up and loosen it in the strainer. Let's see if I can spill this everywhere. Wait. There we go. Scrape the sneakers. Over here. Stir it around a little bit with the cabbage. I don't know when the video shut off, guys, from the internal storage being full. And so there we do that. Now we put some more pepper in here. I know you might think it's a lot of pepper, but I'm telling you, it makes the meal. It's probably like, I don't know, tablespoon or 2 of pepper. Stir that in. Yeah. Ooh, it's looking good. So, I had trouble with the SD card the other day. I did recordings, but it actually didn't end up working, so I wonder if the same problem's going to happen here. If it does, you won't know anyways because of the fact it didn't record. Okay. That's all good. Now, remember the chicken broth that we set aside? Now is the time you put that in. Oh, that's hot. Hot. Heat it up. Nice and high. Yeah. Ooh. And me, I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. Because I like pepper. Rose does too. There we go. That's perfect. Definitely got that high. Stir it a few more times. And success, guys. One batch of bacon noodle cabbage. I'm going to take the camera down and show you. Yeah. I can shut this off now because it's cooked. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. Yeah. So it's pretty good stuff. I say, if you like bacon and you like cabbage, you know, and you like pepper, you're gonna love this meal. So Alright guys, well, that's my little secret recipe. Hopefully this video actually works out. I don't know if it will. So, Happy New Year's everybody, and that's what I'm going to eat later on after I'm done having my beer. You know me, I love my beer. Alright, night guys, Happy New Year's, and enjoy. Wait.